100%.
How would you say you transitioned from struggling to find your purpose and kind of struggling to really commit to that, to finding your purpose and now being like a strong, structured man of vision where you have full autonomy?
You know, the transition was interesting, and I think it is so important. Is I was always working on, you know, my dream job while I had a day job. So there was a transition point, and it's a good story, but it wouldn't have worked had I not been hustling. Like, you don't want to be at zero the day that like you need things to work. And so I think that everybody, if they do have like a side project, a side hustle, you want to get proof of concept on that. And I believe that in almost every case, you can do that as a side thing. Sometimes it might be the wrong path to just, let's say you get money. There's nothing wrong with like maybe getting venture capital, or there's nothing wrong with getting some startup money and just going all in. But if you go all in before there's even a proof of concept of your idea, before things are tested, before you've even kind of figured out your own vibe, if things are working. So I had been doing that really on the side for years. And of course I've been learning by helping others. But what happened to me was in October 2015, I had at this point, it was mainly three main freelance clients. So I had three basically big clients, made up 80% of our income. And the other 20% was probably YouTube, generating a little bit of money. We were doing YouTube affiliate marketing. What happened was week 1, October 2015, one of the clients called and was like, hey, we hired some people. We got to let you go. I was like, okay, cool, brutal, but you know, just one, no big deal. We could do some other stuff. Second week though, no joke, Jonathan, someone calls me, yeah, we got to let you go. Third week, hey, by the way, we're changing some stuff. We got to let you go. We lost 80% of our income in 1 month. So I'm like, shoot, like this sucks. You know, I got my wife, Sonia. I'm like trying to think about telling her about it. Like, hey, don't worry, babe. You know, like, so this happens. We lose all these, all the income. So I actually called a business mentor of mine, friend of mine, David. He crushed it back in the day, kind of in the digital space, building blogs, businesses online, things like that. And I'm like, hey, I'm kind of worried. What should I do? And should I pursue other freelance clients? Because I could just go get more clients. And he's like, no, I think you should go all in. And I should have saw this myself, but it took another voice to tell me. He said, you've been building this stuff. You know what to do. You know how to do it. You should just jump off. So what we did was we're like, all right, well, based on our savings and based on like that 20% a month, we could probably last 6 months before money runs out, you know, when we go bankrupt and I got to get a day job or something and start like waiting tables again or something that I've done in my past. So we just went all in. And as you can imagine, now the fire was like really under me to do it. It's about November 1st, 2015, that was the only thing. Deck was cleared. No other freelance clients, nothing else to do.
You made the leap.
Made the leap.
No,
all in.
Not really much of a safety net. You mentioned about 6 months you could live off that, but you put your feet to the fire at that point.
100%. Yeah. We realized we could last about 6 months. By January 1, we had already replaced the income, 2016. And then in 2016, we had a 10x year. In 2015 on YouTube, we got about 650,000 views just on Think Media. In 2016, we got 6.5 million views and grew by about 135,000 subscribers in 1 year. And
one of those was definitely me.
Appreciate that. It, man. And you know what? I think what it showed me is it also showed me, though, the power of focus. And I think there's a couple of things that went in there, but it was definitely timing. The timing was right. Could that have happened if I was like, dang, it's day one and I'm at 0 subscribers and I hadn't been like proving my side hustle? So luckily there was enough of momentum, not a ton, but at least there was something to build on. And then the power of focus, going all in. And for a while there, I was doing 60, 80-hour weeks, grinding, because it was as if our lives depended on it, because it did. And because I also did not want to go back to it like a 9 to 5. And so we did it. And then I was probably a solo creator for about a year. And so for about maybe 9-10 months, and then kind of an intern contractor came on, kind of helped for free for a while, then got paid for a while. And now we have a couple of full-time team members, some contractors, and some other things. So the business grew to 6 figures pretty quick. Now it's grown to multiple 6 figures. And so a lot of stuff has happened. And I got to like, you know, give a nod though to those formative years. One of the things that I really did, which I think is a good takeaway for those listening, everybody's path's different, but because of all that client work and that freelance work, that was strategic. I was actually trying to get around people who were doing big things and essentially get paid to learn. When I got to work on their brands and sit in their meetings and see behind the scenes of what they were doing, I was getting all the education needed so that when I did jump off, man, I mean, I really didn't know what to do. I had that fear, and I think that fear is real, and it definitely was a leap. But what was nice, it also wasn't blind faith. And I do think that every entrepreneur needs faith. You got to believe in yourself. You got to believe in your dream, even if nobody else does. But I think blind faith could actually be labeled as foolishness because maybe you haven't got that proof of concept yet. You maybe don't have the mastery needed for your thing to work yet.
Something I want to emphasize here is that this didn't just happen, right? Like you just mentioned, it wasn't blind faith. It was actually thought out. It was premeditated. You were working on your dream job while you still had that day job, but you were doing this on the side. So when it happened, you were ready. When you more or less created the opportunity, you were ready to take it.
100%. And for years before, not only was I was doing two major things since about before 2010, but really in 2010, I got a vision for exactly what I'm doing today. And I think every entrepreneur needs to have a vision. And the clearer your vision, the better, because you know where you want to go. Now, sometimes it's just kind of a North Star. You don't have all the steps. You kind of just have the general direction. But I knew it was that way. I didn't know what it was going to look like. But one of the things I did was I also immersed myself in learning. I mean, books, courses, podcasts, conferences, and studying not just the vanity side, like the visible side of, say, what is a YouTuber career, or what is an online influencer or a personal brand career look like. But I started to study stuff that was a lot less sexy, just online marketing, email marketing, copywriting, persuasion, influence, studying things like just communication in general, how to communicate and teach effectively. I wanted to really master every aspect of my industry since I knew what industry I wanted to go for, since I knew the vision.
What you just heard was a micro clip from episode 1 with Sean Cannell, entitled Sean Cannell, Drive, Focus, and High Performance Habits. Key points from this episode, first and foremost, a saying that Sean lives by. One he mentions in this episode is live today like no one else, so later you can live like no one else. Key point 1, you must start. Key point 2, be consistent. Key point 3, hustle. The struggle is real. Don't think that it will be easy, because it won't. Key point 4, income follows influence. Learn, get better, and push constantly to master your craft. Again, be consistent with this. If any of these key points resonated with you, you're going to love the full episode. This was the first ever published interview episode of the Heart Healthy Hustle Show. If you want to go back in the vault, scroll all the way back, find episode 01, and you'll be able to hear this incredible interview with the legend, the founder of Think Media TV himself, Sean Cannell. You may very likely have seen some of his YouTube videos, as his YouTube channel now has had multi-millions of views. Congratulations on making it to the end of this episode. What about this episode stood out to you? Next, I need your help sharing this show. I want this podcast to impact and reach 6,000 people per episode by August 31st, 2019. And I want us to reach 15,000 people per month by March 29th, 2020. Have you been enjoying multiple episodes of The Heart Healthy Hustle? I'm thrilled to share with you an exclusive invitation to join our new Facebook community. To get to know other Heart Healthy Hustlers, simply go to thehearthealthyhustle.com/Facebook, where you can expect to see different members of our community being featured weekly in Facebook Live calls. I appreciate all of your love and support, and I will see you in the next episode. As always, be generous on every occasion. There is a story for you, and live wide open.